Hey, it's Professor AI here with your daily tip. This is going to be a little bit longer video because some of you have commented that you'd like more and a little bit deeper dive into this whole world of AI. And having been in this space now for over a year, and also seeing what's out there on social media with a lot of creators that are saying, well, you can learn AI in 15 minutes a day or take the 28-day AI challenge and then you'll become an AI master. Some of that stuff just isn't true. And so I thought, just to give you what is true from my experience over the past year in learning AI, there are some really helpful tools. And so I'm not sure how long this is going to go, but I'm going to just share with you some of what I've learned over the last year. And hopefully that will help you then in your AI journey and learning it yourself. But don't sign up for a course that promises you that you can learn this in 15 minutes a day in 28 days, because it just isn't going to happen. Okay. So one of the things that I did last year is I took a 12 or 14 week intensive course on it with a number of other people. And in there, I was exposed to a whole bunch of different tools and a bunch of different types of creators that, it's always feeling like, gosh, I don't know anything. But then after a while, you're out and about in different organizations and meetings and things like that, and you slowly realize, wow, I know more than probably 98% of the people in this room. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from this. I've branded myself as Professor AI, probably because I know more than 98% of the people out there. I do follow the 2 or 3% of the people out there that know way more than me, and I'll continue to learn and grow. One of the helpful things that I've learned in AI that would be really helpful for you is it's all about the prompts, right? Just like in relationship with other people, it's all about how good of questions do you ask. And so one of the things as you get into AI, and there's really three main tools when we're talking about AI. And I don't even like calling it AI. I like calling it this large language model because it's not really artificial intelligence. It's really about how do I tap into the depth and the breadth of all things that are already out there on the internet, books that are written, resources, podcasts, things like that. How do I tap into that as a content creator or as a leader, as an entrepreneur? And so part of that is learning some of the basics. And so I want to do that with you here. So the three main tools that I want to bring up are ChatGPT, which you've already heard of, and it's ever evolving. Just in 1 year, it's gone through 4 or 5 different iterations that I know of, and it's gotten better each time. And so, tie into that, in all of these things, they typically have a free version, and then they'll have a paid version if you want to go into deeper levels of it, things that maybe the free version doesn't do, or sometimes the free version will limit you in terms of you can do X number of queries or X number of posts or things like that. Okay, so ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude, those are kind of the trinity of all things of this large language model that's out there. There's other ones out there like Gemini and some other ones that are promising other things. But if you just start with those three, get familiar with them. What are their strengths? What are their limitations? That'll really help you out a lot in terms of your initial understanding of how to use this as a tool. The second thing with each of those three, though, is that you want to learn how to ask the right questions. And so the first part of asking a prompt is act like a. So act like a. So if I'm doing marketing, I want to say act like a professional marketing consultant for me and give me X. Okay. So let's say I want to produce 30 days worth of social media content that I want to put out there. So my prompt might be something like, act like a professional marketing organization that will create a month's worth of social media content for me. And I want you to say it in 2 sentences, and I want you to put it in a table format with each sentence in a column. And I want these statements to be by professional social media people, or maybe it's people who are aspiring to be professional. But give me the references for that. And so what's amazing is I might be able to come up with 3, 4, 5 of these ideas if I just sit down and start writing. What I love about the AI world is it'll come up with 30 in about 10 or 15 seconds. And so that part's super helpful. Is it just expands your mind and makes you smarter than you were, 10 minutes earlier. So act like a is the first part of the prompt, right? The other part that I've noticed with especially ChatGPT is you want to create a digital avatar of you. And so who are you as a person? What is your professional background? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are your hobbies, your interests, your values, your expectations, your symbols, your lifestyle, all of those kinds of things. And that way, when it is writing for you, like if you're going to do an email campaign or something like that, it has a little box down on the bottom at ChatGPT that says, use my profile information. So the more you tell it about you, the more it will be able to write like you and behave like you as it's doing output. The other thing that's helpful, I've found, is to give a list of your top 10 favorite authors. So if you're someone who likes John Maxwell, for example, and the way he writes or the way he communicates, then you can prompt it to say, make this sound like John Maxwell would say it, because he's just really clear, or Simon Sinek, or one of these great authors or speakers, right? I want to sound like this person in my output, right? The other thing I've come across, if you are using Google Chrome, they have a lot of plugins. And so Google Chrome has a plugin called AIPRM. And so what that does is it allows you to then say, I want you to write this in an authoritative style or a conversational style or a descriptive style or whatever. And then it'll also have the tone. I want it to be friendly. I want it to be sarcastic. I want it to be, whatever tone you want it to do. There's 20 or so choices in there. Okay, so that's super helpful in terms of getting these large language models to behave in a way that's helpful for you. All right. Another fun tool that you want to play around with is some of these things that make copies or digital avatars of you. So one of them is called HeyGen, HeyGen. And what it does is you will record yourself saying stuff to it for about 2 minutes, and then it will create a digital avatar. The first time I did this, I probably wasn't as expressive as I needed to be, not enough hand motions and all that kind of stuff. And so it kind of came across as a little bit dull and all that. But once it has you in its system, then you can just type out or have AI type all of your content, and then it will be you saying it. But it won't really be you. It'll be your digital twin saying this. And so you see some of that stuff out there by, it's not Donald Trump really going into a 7-Eleven and holding up the thing, or, some of the stuff we've seen out there with political things. You can start to spot a counterfeit. But I found it to be a fun little way of playing around with these large language models, and maybe a good way to automate things, right? So that's super helpful. But as you're creating this digital twin, again, you're wanting to put in it exactly who you are so that it's not putting you out there as someone that you aren't. Okay. That's it for now. I'm going to continue with follow up more of these, but this is just getting started. We're laying a foundation of a lot of these AI tools that will help you to become better at creating content, better at using some of the automation features. And in the next one, I'll talk about some of the graphic things that are out there in AI. Okay, thanks.